Change isn't easy, especially when it comes to our stuff. We like our stuff. These are 5 reasons you won't become a minimalist. So if you like minimalism, decluttering, and frugal living tips, make sure to subscribe. Number 1, you feel comfortable. If you have too much stuff, and you probably do, the easy choice is to do nothing. That's what I did, at least. I held on to all kinds of things I thought I might need, but didn't really. To be honest, I still do. That's part of the reason for starting this channel, to keep me accountable as I become more minimalist. I don't know about you, but the idea of going through everything I own is kind of daunting. But it's worth doing the hard thing, to ask what really adds value to your life. Number 2, you focus on the cons rather than the pros. Minimalism is a really personal decision. If you live with other people, you know this to be true. Even if you become the most minimalist person, just owning the clothes on your back, your partner still might like to bring home a car full of stuff. But when I was holding on to things for years, things I didn't need, use, or even remember I had, it was because I hadn't looked at the pros of getting rid of them. I didn't think about how nice it would feel to be able to, in some cases, see the floor again, or know where everything I owned was. Minimalism takes work. It's not as easy as just throwing out all your stuff. It takes time, it takes effort, and for a lot of us, we want life to be as simple as possible. But if we can look at the positives, it'll make the cons easier to overcome. Number 3, you've given meaning to your things. Things with sentimental value are the hardest to get rid of. We think if we discard them, the memory itself will go away, but that's not true. What I realized was that I wanted to keep the stuff that was sentimental to look at, and for it to spark a memory of a feeling I had when I first got it. But what I found that does the same thing and without having to keep the item are pictures. I take pictures of the items that mean the most to me and get rid of them. One, it makes it easier to find since you can find digital photos quicker than things buried in your room. Number 4, you buy things to temporarily fill an emotional void. Buying things feels good. Bringing home new clothes, new stuff for hobbies, or even things to organize with can temporarily lift your mood. For some, it's stronger than others. Buying necessities is different. I'm talking about buying things not because you need it, but because they're on sale, or because you don't feel great. This takes shopping to a different meaning. It becomes a coping mechanism. And suddenly our closets are full of clothes we don't need, or maybe even want. For myself, I found that meditation, yoga, exercise, getting outside, or even watching TV, these are healthier coping mechanisms than emotional spending. You can ask yourself, what makes me feel better? What distracts me if I'm feeling down, to find what might work for you. Number 5, you'll do it someday. This is the biggest reason it took so long for me to take minimalism seriously. I've kept dozens of cables to electronics I don't need or even have anymore. I've kept canned foods and spices that have expired and clothes that I don't wear or like or fit me anymore. But what if I suddenly want to eat this can of corn at 2 a.m.? Well, you probably won't, because most of these someday items become never items. If it's not important enough to use now, when will it be? For most things, the answer is never. For things you genuinely use, just not now, keeping those makes sense. Something I've been doing is putting Post-it notes on things with the dates I plan to get rid of them. If I have something I want to sell, I usually put a date a month from now. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it'll be donated. Number 6, you don't want to waste money. Marie Kondo says that the things you no longer need, but you feel bad about throwing away because of the money you spent, has already given you value. The value was that you now know you don't need it. When I read that, my mind was blown. I hate wasting money. But the truth is, the money's long gone. What are my things costing me now? My time, my attention, my space, my rent? These are things that are not long gone, that don't have to be spent on things I don't need anymore. So the best thing to do is let them go. If you've watched this far, please consider supporting this channel by subscribing, liking, and commenting. It would really help out. These 6 reasons were what held me back for a long time. I had never lived in very big places, but each place I lived in, I filled them up with stuff. I'm working through them now. If you resonate with these reasons, ask yourself if the pros outweigh the cons, if having less stuff could mean more clarity. Until next time.